Oh my goodness, he's actually recording a video. That is right, guys, I am back. Hello, welcome back to Minecraft. I am of course Jeffries. I will be your guide, your host, your friend for the next however long this video lasts. And welcome back to the bank. Now this has changed an awful lot, I would imagine, since you last saw it. This didn't exist, I don't believe. It hasn't been fitted out yet, but this is actually going to be the office area. I did say a long time ago that I was going to go around and do aesthetics and make this look nice. And I started building a roof and then got bored very, very quickly. And truth be told, I haven't done an awful lot of that side of it because... Let me just check something real quick. Yep, good, we're recording. That was something I needed to check because it's been such a long time, so I need to make sure that's actually the case. Yes. What am I talking about? Oh, yes. The reason I didn't get around to the aesthetics is because I wanted to get the practicals out of the way first. Because I didn't want to build something really nice and then knock a hole through it in order to actually build what is essentially this, a huge storage area. So I went a little different. I decided to build the practical side of it first and then go for the nice bit afterwards. And I'm still looking for people to actually come on here and join in and make this look nice. Because this is a project, you know, it's a big project. And there's a whole range of things that I'll be pitching for people to do. For those of you who've wondered why there's been so little content on my channel over the last 2 months, 3 months, maybe even longer, this is probably the biggest reason. I've had university and stuff going on as well, but this is the biggest reason. I've been working on this. And I introduced it before. This is what used to be Minecraftopolis. The idea is to build a socially, financially, economically functioning, that's the word, city in Minecraft. So there'll be jobs, there'll be houses, there'll be, you know, transport, all that kind of stuff. And it all originates from this. And I don't know why I've come all the way down here, because this is actually nothing. There's nothing in here. This is not working. This used to be a bioreactor. Well, it is a bioreactor. It used to provide fuel to something that I will show you in a second. Which was actually the last thing I was working on, I believe, in a video for this. I was working on the power situation, which is something I'm very pleased with, actually, and I'm dying to show off to you guys. But I'm over here at the moment, wasting time whilst I gossip about this, that, and the other. Let's do a tour of the bank, shall we? So up there you've got the main crafting monitors. You've got crafting, pattern, and interface. And you've also got fluid storage there, but I need to move that because it's a bit ugly. Here we've got the main input chest. This is where if I'm doing stuff or I come back from a long journey and I can't be bothered to access the terminal, I'll just chuck stuff in this chest. It gets drawn into that cable and into the system. These cables, I'll show you where they go in a second. This over here was a really clever idea. In theory. In fact, there it goes. This is kind of a gold farm that I've got going. Basically, we've got skeletons spawning at our mob spawner, which is over there near the tower, which still exists, by the way, but hasn't changed at all since pretty much this series began. So I need to go over there and do some stuff over there, because part of the beating heart of the city actually lies within the tower as well as the bank. They're sort of either end of the main section. So I need to go over there and fix that. But this is... all the skeletons die. Thanks to our little grinder that we've got over there. And we end up with a ton of armor, basically, that isn't useful for anything. And at one point I had a real shortage of gold. So what I did was I set this up. We have an XP farm, which I ran past just now. It's over here. Basically, it's loads of these essence berry bushes on top of autonomous activators. They get right-clicked every time they grow, get sucked into the vacuum hopper, up into that autonomous activator, which it's the same as if you threw experience on the ground and it turns into the liquid kind of thing, the little circle sphere things. They get sucked up into a vacuum hopper, which has a fluid input, and that puts it into the system, where it gets stuck in fluid storage, which is why that terminal was originally put where it was. And then it comes down into this anvil, auto anvil I should say. Gold gets put in at the top, the leggings or the helmets or whatever it is get put in at the side. You saw what happened, they get fixed, thrown into this chest, returned to the system, and then, if I come down these stairs, they get chucked into this, which is a smeltery. As you can see, a lot of gold in the smeltery. This is a redstone clock, This is the seared faucet. It goes into there, gets sucked into a hopper and into the system. So that's how we're getting gold. I mean, we're obviously getting gold the conventional way as well. We're mining it and it's being delivered. But this is another way that we get gold. So we get more gold than most of the other metals. So down here we've got the starts of our machinery. We've got pulverizers, induction smelters, a cyanide reprocessor, which is a bit funny actually. I'm not keen on this. Things go missing. Cyanide gets pumped in, or it gets pumped somewhere. No plutonium returns. So I'm a little bit concerned about that. Down here we got the AE2 stuff. So inscribers, loads of inscribers. They've all got acceleration cards in, so they're pretty souped up. I won't go into the details of this because I'm pretty sure I've already shown you this. Cactus farm, and then this pipe. Interesting. Logistics pipes, my new favourite toy, as it turns out. And we've also got loads of cactus here. I'm a bit annoyed about this. You have to put a wooden transport pipe with a redstone engine in order to be able to suck out of chests to go to a default route. At least that's what I've had to do. If there is another way of doing it, please let me know. I would very much appreciate that. What other machines have I got down here? Let's see. Well, over here is an interesting section. We've got these magmatic dynamos, and they're currently getting filled with blazing pyrotheum. Which, you know, is good. It's very good. Very powerful. However, every now and then these run out. So I've also got these two water wheels. Which, there's this restaurant I used to go to when I was younger. And it was built in an old mill. And there was this really dark corridor you used to have to walk down, where the actual mill wheel it was. And it used to scare me when I was younger, but I've been back there since, and don't worry, it's not scary anymore. But this reminds me a lot of that, because it was just... Ignore the waterfall. Just a big wheel turning in this dark corridor, and there's all these creaking noises, and yeah, it wasn't particularly nice for a small child to have to go down there. But now, you know, I'm a grown man, 23 years old. These don't scare me. They're just water wheels. But you see, they've got those kinetic dynamos which are connected up to these capacitor banks. Speaking of these capacitor banks, these are the bulk of our downstairs power. This power system down here is completely separated from the original power system that we built in the last episode of Minecraft-opolis. It's become self-sustaining, basically. The system itself, upstairs, I've used a little bit of a cheat in order to get power into it just while I was setting all this up. Once it's fully set up and I'm happy with it, it will become self-sufficient and self-sustaining. What have we got here? Well, this is the bulk of where our blazing pyrotheum comes from. But let me work this out. Over here actually is where it starts. So let's come over here while we can. In fact, here's some being made. So, in fact, we've just missed it being made. Again, this power, it goes down fast. There you go. Pyrotheum dust gets crafted upstairs, comes into here, gets smelted down into blazing pyrotheum, comes across here into a bucket, gets filled up. The bucket gets filled up. And then that bucket comes over to this machine here, which creates blazing pyrotheum back into the liquid, and then that goes into the system. The reason I've done this, it might look a bit crazy, but this is set up. The whole thing is set up to be interchangeable and adaptable. So I could just have a machine that turns pyrotheum dust into blazing pyrotheum. But I've decided to use the existing system because actually sometimes I need buckets of blazing pyrotheum. So it just uses that really. When it's not being used to craft things personally for me, it's just being used to keep the system going. And as you saw, the tank over on the other side was full. So we don't exactly have a shortage. This one is slightly more interesting. This is where we create things like tesseracts. So everything gets pumped into here. The buckets of the fluid get pumped into here. So you can see we've got glowstone bucket, gelid cryotheum, lava, resident ender, and destabilized redstone. They all get pumped into here. The other items like leadstone energy cell frames, or redstone energy cell frames, illuminator frames, glowstone dust, which I didn't know this. You can actually make blaze powder by using glowstone dust and destabilized redstone, which I think is pretty cool. Tesseract frames, cinnabar, and all that stuff. It all gets pumped into here. This gets smelted down into the fluid, gets put into here, recombined, creates the object, and then gets pumped back into the system. That's that section done. Over here we've got our original alloy smelter and sag mill processing. Again, this is on a, it's on a semi self-sufficient circuit. There's a magmatic dynamo here. There's also a culinary generator which is filled up with toast sandwiches. Well, I don't think this does much. I don't really know if I still need this. But here we've got the rolling machines, we've got the sag mills, and we've got the alloy smelters. Lovely. And these all work very, very hard, creating pretty much everything metallic that we need. And all the alloys, all the things like stone, clay, it's all made in this room here. Again, it could do with sprucing up, but I kind of like this really industrial feel to it. You know, this feels grimy and dirty, and it's a machine room, so it's supposed to, you know. What else have we got here? Oh yeah, this is a redstone furnace. This is where we make our charcoal. Again, that used to be done in the alloy smelters, but I found when I was trying to create things in the alloy smelters and it was just full of wood all the time, it was a little bit difficult. So, yeah, that's now been changed up. It's got its own designated machine. This is all boring stuff. Don't need to worry about any of that. That pipe's kind of important, but I think you know what that is. Cryostabilized flux duct. That's where all the original power supply comes from. Back up here, we've got our molecular assembly rooms, and we've also got these culinary generators down the end. Now, these provide power for our mob farm, which, as you can see, we've actually got a full essence tank as well, which is pretty cool. The mob farms are up there. We've got three, in fact, you can see them, 3 auto spawners per room, and there's currently 2 rooms, but I plan on adding more in the future. Energy gets pumped in. In fact, do these have energy? They do. And the essence gets pumped in, which seems to be the problem at the moment. There's no essence being... Ah, that. Why is that not being pumped in? That's weird. Hang on a second. See if I can fix that. Need my magnet. There it is. It's probably cheating again, actually. I shouldn't do things like that, but in times like this, resources are actually quite thin on the ground for me. You wouldn't think it, considering I have a huge storage system, but the really important things that I'm looking for, I seem to get lost. I don't really know why. That's annoying me, why that's doing that, because I actually really need... Oh, hang on, I think it is working. Yeah, it looks like it's working. Somehow it's working. It's going somewhere. These pipes are full, so it's going... Anyway, enough of that. Enough of that. What else do I need to show you? Oh yes, the final room, which is right the way downstairs. And I think I've already shown you this again, but it's evolved since. Let me go down facing this way. Okay, so this is our original storage room. Well, I say storage room. This is for things, well, as you can see, wheat, for example. We've got 1,936 stacks of wheat. That's a lot. Sometimes it's too much. If you put that into a... ME system, it'll fill it very, very quickly. So I've moved it down here. We've got these storage buses. I've talked you through this before. It's nothing new. This is the original lift system that goes up and down. Got some denser ore there, actually. This is the new bit. Currently, this is what I actually wanted to do in today's episode, but time is running... I think I might be able to do it. I need to fix this, basically, because I built it off camera, and I built it pretty good, but it's broken over here. I'll explain how in a second. This is our unloading system. As you can see, this train is set for the bank. It's currently set to idle. It's got no water, so I'm going to have to sort that out. This is full of stuff from a quarry, which is over there somewhere. City North it's in. And you can see there's a lot of signals. In fact, I'll show you above ground once I've finished doing this. You can see just how many signals there are on this system. It's ridiculous, the number of blocks. And actually, it's created a bit of a problem. You might notice there's no anchor cart. Originally, there was meant to be an anchor cart. There might still be an anchor cart in the future, thinking about it. But right now, there isn't, because the block sections between trains wasn't really making it possible. And also, this unloading system was making it very difficult. But this is where things get unloaded. And this ties in very nicely with the logistics pipes. So I've sort of built it a bit cluttered down here. It's a bit cleaner upstairs. Basically, I've got all these farms upstairs which are going to get cleared out in the future. All the stuff gets pumped down here. This is the default chest, and then it gets pumped into the ME system. Over here we have things like seeds, fertilizer, carrots, charcoal. That gets pumped to power the trains and also some engines that are around. loads of different types of saplings, some toast for the culinary generators, and we seem to be lacking in wheat. Why have we not got any wheat here? What I'm afraid of is... It's not that one, it's the other one. I did a pack update recently, and I think it might have broken some of these export buses, because we're supposed to be having... Ah, that's interesting. Maybe not then. So I'm going to have to do that. We don't seem to have wheat being pumped out, so I'm going to have to fix that. That's slightly annoying. Okay. But yes, this is the rail system, and what I want to fix is this little system over here. Basically, what happens is, and if I had water in that engine, I would show you. Train comes in, unloads. Once all the carts are empty, that's what these things are here, they're item detectors. They give us off a signal once there's nothing in the carts above them. Sends out the signal, goes through all the AND gates. I've shown you this before in a previous world. This AND gate, which is set for this redstone torch, in case I decide to adapt to the system in the future, releases the train. That's simple. Comes into this block here. This is always set to couple. This is a decoupler / coupler track. This is always set, this one here, to push the train forward, or in this case, that's forward. This one is where the problem lies. This is, it says item detector, but it's actually an any detector. As the train passes, this flicks a redstone signal to this signal control box, which then goes into this relay box, receiver box, not relay box, they're two different things, and switches the switch, which turns the decoupler track on. The loco then passes over that and decouples from the other two carts. Carries on to here, where it's set to reverse, goes all the way along there, loads up with coal, loads up with water, gets to the Y track. As you can see, it's set to go this way, and then this way, so it reverses onto the carts, couples back up on this track, hits this track, which then sets it back into forward mode, heads this way, automatically turns left, because that switch is permanently set to turn left. This switch is set to permanently turn right, and then it heads off down the track. That sounds fairly simple, I hope. Where the problem lies is actually with this system here, because you see, I flick the switch, this works. You know, it's a working system, it works perfectly. The reason it works perfectly is because I've got some red alloy wire that runs along here. I tried using this with the signal boxes, and it just wasn't working. Basically, what happens is the train goes past, flicks this on. Or, the train goes past and doesn't do anything. It's very sporadic. And that's what I need to change. It has to do it every single time. And it only does it when I'm here watching it. If I'm not here watching it, it doesn't switch on this track. So the engine passes over, with the car still attached, hits this, reverses back, hits this, goes forward, hits this, and so on and so on. The other way of doing it is there's another detector over here, which is supposed to switch the whole system off. Yet when the train hits that, this stays on, engine couples up, back cart gets decoupled, rolls away all the way down here, train goes off with just one cart. No good. So, we need to fix this, and that's what today's episode is going to be. There's another part to it which we need to fix, but I'll come to that in a second. Because it's a separate circuit, but it works in the same way. So we're going to get rid of the signal controller boxes, basically. We don't need them anymore, we don't like them. At least on this section. Elsewhere, there's a token block which I've got. Actually, I need to put the in the description of this video. I need to put the link to the video where I got the idea for the token system from, because the guy who did it, if it is his design, of course, but the guy who did it is an absolute genius. So I was looking for ways for ages that I could properly control junctions, and then I stumbled upon this video completely by accident and changed everything. It's fantastic the way he's done it. Right, enough about that. I think I could do a fairly simple system. In fact, I need to get some more red alloy wire, so let me do that quickly. I need to clear up down here as well, it's so messy. I dig tunnels, I build things, and then I never clear up after myself. So, you know, I've got a jetpack, which is brilliant. I can go up and down these tunnels, but anyone else who joins this server is not going to be able to do that. So I need to put stairs in, or elevator blocks, or something. a quick way to get up and down. Right, alloy. There it is. I made some earlier. Very well prepared. Voila. So, how am I going to do this system? I've had a little bit of thinking time, but I'm going to do with what I normally do in these videos, which is completely ignore my thinking time and do it as an improv session, basically. I'll show you what the other circuit is in a second, because it's in this room, so we'll have to fix that at the same time. But what I propose that we do is grab some cobblestone, which thankfully I've got. I've got loads of stuff from loads of different projects here, which is why it looks a bit cluttered in my inventory space as well. It's not very nice. I should probably do something about that. I'm doing this at the same time I'm thinking, is this a good idea? Yes, it should be. It should be. Right, I need to put the toggle latch. I also forgot my screwdriver, which is no good. So that goes there. The detector goes there. So every time something hits that, this should switch on. Instantly. Absolutely immediately. Brilliant, if that works. And then over here, I'm going to be very lazy with how I do this, by the way. Very lazy. In fact, do I want it here? No, I want it further. If I could put it here, really. Let's do that. Let's just fill this with dirt for now. And we'll put the other one, which is over here. I hope this isn't lagging too much, by the way. This server runs a bit slow. It runs quicker once I do the updates and stuff, but it does run quite slow. So let me know if it's lagging for you guys, and I'll fix that. No, I don't want to put that there because it'll flick twice. We don't want that. That's bad. Put it there. Hopefully this actually switches on in time. If not, I can move that to there, which I think is probably a good idea, actually. If I put that there, and then I've got repeaters on me as well, like so. Make sure in and out are the right way round, which they're not. Now in and out should be the right way round, and they are. Brilliant. That's set to 2 ticks. I think that should be enough. That should be how long it takes for that to cross there. We'll do the same thing over here. 2 ticks. We'll then put that there, and that there. So that should fix this system. We'll test it out in a little bit. We have a similar system, as I keep saying, which is over here. Let me show you. In fact, you can see it. It's here. As the train enters this section, it supposedly turns off the track which the engine is currently sat on. It's actually stopped there, because as I say, the switch is broken. The switch itself is over there, and again we're going to move it. The reason we're using the red stone alloy wire is you can put it on ceilings and walls and stuff, which is exactly what we're going to do, because the output is here. This is as the train leaves. I've tried to be clever with this. These are all the destination tracks, by the way. This one is currently set up to the City North Farm. This is set up to only switch on for black main, red buffer, which as you can see is the exact same colour as this engine. So all black engines like this go to the City North Farms. In the future, there will be more than one farm. We won't worry about that right now. I will show you the farm in the next episode, because time is of the essence. What I need to do is fix this. So this is now going to point upwards. He says, making sure it doesn't point upwards. Let's try that again, shall we? This is now going to point upwards. There we go. Fantastic. With the redstone alloy wire attached thus. Probably don't need to actually physically attach it like that, but I'm doing it anyway because I can. This one, see, originally it's there, but I think that's too close. I think that's actually switching the track off before the engine even gets a chance to cross it. So what I'm going to do is dig out this section of track, like that. I'm going to dig a trench, like this. I'm going to stick it there, like that. That comes out. Brilliant. Now I need to make sure there's no other track in the way. In fact, I think I need to dig this deeper. Basically, I want the switch behind this wall. And I can't use the hammer because there's that there. This is also set up so that if there are more tracks in the future, we'll be able to see. That's my phone, excuse me. If there's more destinations in the future, sorry, not tracks, we'll be able to set up more tickets. So even on this section here, we might even extend it into this bit here. The main thing is, trains cannot hit each other on this system. It's physically impossible. Everything is accounted for, including this token section over here, which I want to show you right now because I think this is brilliant how this works. The guy who made it, I will tell you his name. The guy who made the video that I watched, I'll tell you his name when it loads. My YouTube goes a bit slow on my laptop. It is made by... You could probably hear the video as well, which is not very good. Forecaster, that's who it's made by.
I tried putting this in the air.
Hopefully you couldn't hear that. The video started playing. Hopefully you couldn't hear that. Anyway, his name's Forecaster. And he's created a whole series of tutorials on how to create certain railcraft junctions, switches, how to control trains. And this is the one that I really liked. It's the token system. So you can use this for a huge junction. I've used it for this little T-junction at the moment. But in the future, there's going to be bigger junctions I'm going to use it for. So the idea is train crosses over here, activates that detector down there, which delivers a token via this redstone signal circuit thingy down here. It's done using detectors, control boxes, receiver boxes, and I can't remember the name of the whatever that is. I can't remember the name. It's something switch. I'm not very good with redstone terminology. I'm not bad with redstone. That's the annoying thing. I'm pretty good with redstone. I just can't remember what it's called. Land switch, I want to call it, but I don't think that's right. So basically, once a train has crossed into this section, between all of these tracks that are off, those ones over there aren't activated yet, because the trains don't run down there yet, so I haven't actually gone down and linked all the signals up, but you can see this track's switched off. As soon as a train hits this block, it switches on instantly. But as soon as the train clears the block, it switches off again. Meanwhile, this one remains off, even if a train sits on it, as does this one. And they will not switch on until the train has hit this detector here, or the equivalent on... I keep running into walls. The equivalent down there, where you can see the glass, and down there, where you can see the glass. And again, same system. These detectors will not be activated until at least the next block is clear. So if this signal here is red, this track will be switched off. Train can't activate detector. Hopefully they're stationed far enough apart. But again, I'm wasting time. Wasting time. Because I need to fix this second circuit. And then I actually need to go get some water and test the darn thing. So, now I can use my hammer. I'm very fond of these tools. They're very primitive in terms of what I've got available to me. You know, I've got a smeltery. I can make alumite, I can make pocaminium, and yet here I am using a stone hammer and an iron pickaxe. Not a toast sandwich, an iron pickaxe. But because they've got the moss on them, they are incredibly useful, because they just don't run out. It's awesome. I really, really like it. Okay, so here we need to dig a tunnel underneath this track, up on the other side. So we're going to go, quite literally, down one, underneath that, and then we'll dig down from this side. Down, down. So this whole thing needs to link up. In fact, I need to go under there. You see, I've dug this little underpass as well. Eventually, I'm going to dig out some of the roof and build like an overbridge. This area, it's not going to be public accessible, but it's going to be more accessible than it currently is, because this is a nightmare. Get rid of that. Get rid of that one. Get rid of this one. And get rid of this one. And then, of course, get rid of the switch. Like so. Back underneath. It's getting a little bit laggy now. If I run the game for too long, it starts to lag, which is a pain. Don't like that. Not a lot I can do about it. I need to put that piece of track down again, don't I? Yes, I do. There we go. Okay, so the wire's on the floor, goes underneath like this. We're going to have a repeater under here. No, repeater. And again, we're going to set it to 2 ticks. Set all these to 2 ticks, just so there's enough of a delay. Hopefully there's enough of a delay to put up with server lag as well. I've put that one too suppose. Unless I do this. I could do this. That could work. Yeah, that works. And then the switch will go here. In fact, shall I have this? Yeah, I'll sink the switch down as well, actually, thinking about it. I'll sink it down 1. Because we need to return the... yeah, see, this is where it gets difficult, because of this thing here. So we're going to have to tunnel under that as well. At this point, I'm going to have to dig 2 down. Just to get under here. So see, this is the track, so this one comes out in the centre again. Make sure I'm pointing straight up. There we go. So yeah, that's the target. Okay, this is the output, and I've actually got that running up the wall, but I don't need to do that anymore. I can actually have this going... I really hope this works now. I'm going to be very annoyed if it doesn't work. Because I put a lot of thought into this system, how it works, and the whole thing, it's what really annoys me about it, is the whole thing is actually reliant on this little bit here working, and if it doesn't work, then it's just going to hack me right off. Right, switch, I need to put the switch, the toggle latch, that's what it's called, and I've completely put it the wrong way around. Let me fix that. It doesn't actually matter which way round this goes as long as the output faces that way. There's 2 inputs and there's 2 outputs. The second output isn't connected to anything, and that's the idea, because it's not supposed to switch on. The inputs are crucial, which is why I try and make sure that they at least work. That's probably going to interfere with the signal box if I do that, so let's... In fact, I need a repeater on this as well, don't I? So we'll put the repeater down first. There's that lag I was talking about. And set that to 2 ticks. There we go. And now I can go up the wall with this. That's what I love about these alloy wires. They're so cool, the way they work. There we go. And now the output should be as simple as that, and then all of this. Now that should only operate that one piece of track. What I can now do, hopefully, is cover this up again. I can't put one there because it's that in the way, but I can do these. This should now work. Do I keep myself access to that switch? I can reach it from here, can I not? Can I? Not quite. I'll be able to reach it. I can just drop down that hole. And there we go. Now here comes the big test. I need to get some water. So I've got an unlimited supply of water, actually, because I've got a reservoir, which you can see just on the corner there, which not only fills up the cyanide reprocessor and any other machines around here, this area that need water to function, but it also... There's the lag creeping in again. I've actually got an elevator block, but I still use my jetpack for that little jump. It's really stupid. It also fills up the ME system. And then I have another... God, this is terrible. I've got another machine that takes water from the system, and every time I request a water bucket, like so, it literally just pumps a bucket into the machine, the fluid transposer. Remembering to use my terminology very, very quickly there. The fluid transposer, which then fills the buckets up and then returns it to the system. So it's a really long-winded way of doing it. But, as I say, in case you need a bucket of water for a recipe, which I do, I've got recipes where I need buckets of water, that's why it's set up. And I'm not going to have individual ones. It's like for blazing pyrotheum. I might as well just use the original circuit because it's being used, you know? Why not just keep it used? Whoops. Right, so that switch is on. That should have switched off. Redstone signal's there. That should have switched off. God's sake. So look, it's oh, I know why, because it's still detecting. Ah, that will stop. That will stop. I think that's what it needs to do. It needs to flick a pulse rather than. So that should stay off now. Okay, I'm not 100% convinced this is working, but we'll find out. So this is unloading everything. Okay, this one's unloaded very quickly. This one's unloading a little bit slower. As you can see, the pump... I'm going to call them pumps. I know they're wooden transport pipes. I'm going to call them pump pipes. That's basically what they do. They pump everything out of the inventory that it's connected to. And you can see everything shoots along. As soon as it hits the logistic pipes, it gets given a destination, which in this case is this chest here, because this is the default route. So everything goes along, up. There's a little connection pipe up there somewhere. Comes back down and goes into this. There's the engine. Why has it got a fence in it? Right, did it switch on? Yes, it did. Sweet. Did it switch off? Yes, it did. Even sweeter. This is now filling up with water. I really should... That's just weird. Okay, and it worked! Oh, yes, brilliant, guys. It has switched that on again, though. So that's not 100% fantastic. It needs to only switch once, so I might move this... Actually, I only need one if in that case. But yeah, the train's gone off. And this should now turn back to green, which it hasn't. Why has it not done it? That should have pulsed there, which flicks this switch, which then activates this, which then activates this. This is the one that's going to be a bit tricky. I might have to do some work off camera. But the majority of it works, and I'm really pleased with that. That uncoupling one is the one that's really driving me up the wall. Because the rest of it, I mean, this whole system here, I can resort to using signals again if necessary. But this decoupler track was the one that was really important. So I'm very, very glad that that's now working. Although I might have to move this detector just to make sure it works properly. So I might move it. I might move this detector itself up here, and then just have it so that every time the train passes it, it pulses on and off, and that should make it work. It should make it work. We'll find out if it works next time, because it is time to end, guys. So thank you very much for watching. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, be sure to click the subscribe button. If you have already subscribed to my channel, thank you guys for your continued support. Don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and if you're enjoying the series. And I know I'm saying that this is the first episode of the new series, but if you're coming back from watching episode N, whatever that might be, first of all, thank you for coming back and watching it from the start, because not many people do decide to do that. But also, yeah, let me know if you're enjoying the series. If you have any ideas, let me know. I will be showing you the farms in the next episode to show you what makes this whole server tick, because the bank is the storage area, the farms is where everything comes from. That's what makes this whole thing work properly. So yes, until next time, guys, I will see you soon.